ceremony, and we're going to acknowledge the first round of our graduates. Um, we asked seniors to send photos. I hope everyone is represented here with their photos and with their names on the screen. And I'm just gonna read off the names and where they're gonna go. Okay, so our first graduate is Alyssa Amesqua, and she's going to Cal Poly Pomona, and she's gonna study biology. Ashley Tafoya is gonna go to Mesa College. Her major is undeclared. Carson Fawcett is going to CSU San Marcos, and he's going to study kinesiology. Cassandra Hernandez is going to San Diego State, and she's going to study psychology. Jacqueline Olvera is going to San Diego City College. Joanna Lopez is also going to San Diego City College, and she's going to study urban studies and planning. Julio Garcia is going to San Diego City College to study sociology. Mara Hyde is going to CSU Long Beach, and she's going to study nursing. Paul Volrath is going to go to Georgia Tech, and he's going to study physics. Sunduri Aguirre is going to San Diego State, and she will be studying microbiology. And Julie Jenkins is taking a gap year, and she's going to be traveling and exploring. Catherine Benitez is going to UCLA, and she's going to study physiological sciences. Yadira Morales is going to San Diego City College, and she'll be studying child development. And then I have a list here of those who I don't have a picture for, but I would still like to recognize you. So Emily Rodriguez, Amber Leonard, Jasmine Alanis, Joanna Lopez, Kimberly Benitez, Laisha Cruz, Luisa Pulvera, Mary Katz Wallace, Quetzali Serrano, and Victoria Santiesteban. Thank you. So now I would like to introduce Richard Barrera, who you've seen quite a bit already. He is a member of the San Diego Unified School District. He is also a longtime advocate of working people. He was the former president of the Chavista board and is currently Chavista Club staff and a really good friend of mine. So please, let's divert our attention to Richard Barrera.
Okay, thank you, Natalie. So this is an important time because not only is this our first Chavista graduation celebration, but we also this year are inaugurating the Cesar Chavez Service Club Fahadi Jeffers Memorial Scholarship. And in a minute, we're going to announce the winners of the Fahadi Jeffers Scholarship. But I just want to make sure everybody knows a little bit about who Fahadi is. Fahadi, like Dolores, is a legendary labor leader. And under the guidance of Dolores and Cesar Chavez, Fahadi and her husband, Ken Seaton Samaji, founded the United Domestic Workers of America. And the United Domestic Workers of America is now the fastest growing labor union in the country. And it's an amazing legacy that Ken and Fahadi were able to build and leave. Ken is currently the chair of the Cesar Chavez Service Club board. But what I also wanted to make sure we all know a little bit about Fahadi, most of us know about Fahadi's history as a labor leader and as a great civil rights activist. Fahadi has a background that's very similar to a lot of you. And when we were reading your applications for the Fahadi Jeffers Scholarship, it was powerful about the connection between so many of you, really all of you, and Fahadi. When Fahadi was a young person, she had a troubled situation with her family, and at the age of 14 was homeless. Fahadi dropped out of school and was struggling to find purpose and really just a place in her life. Fahadi discovered a lot of that purpose in organizations that were like the Cesar Chavez service clubs. So there was an organization called the Afro-American Cultural Center that Fahady got involved in that included art and music, but it also included learning about the history of this world and this country in a way that certainly wasn't taught in the schools at the time Fahady was going to school. Similar to the curriculum that you have had been able to take advantage of in your time as Chavistas. Fahady became a teacher of that curriculum with the Afro-American Cultural Center. And when she met Ken, Ken saw in Fahady the leadership potential that Fahady didn't yet see in herself. And Ken pushed Fahady to go back to school, which she did. And in the period of about 9 months, Fahady made up a year and a half of school, graduated not only from what was called Snyder High School at the time, which today is Garfield High School, but with a joint AA degree from San Diego City College. Fahady went on and graduated from San Diego State by the age of 21. And Fahady had her law degree and had passed the bar by the age of 25. And she believes so deeply in what young people are able to accomplish if somebody recognizes in themselves first who they can become. And then if young people begin to recognize in themselves what their potential is. It's why she believes so much in the Cesar Chavez service clubs and why she believes so much in you. And even those of you that may not have known Fahady firsthand, she knew who you were. And she loved hearing about your stories from the time you were very young, all the way through your time in high school. You are the most important people in Ken's life. Ken and the rest of us lost Fahady late last year. And it's definitely leaving a hole for all of us that, that will always be there. But Fahady filled us up with a belief in ourselves and a belief in what's possible. And so it is very, very fitting that the first ever Cesar Chavez Scholarship Fund is named in honor of Fahady Jeffers. And we will ask Jonathan to begin to announce the winners of the Fahady Jeffers Memorial Scholarship.
Thank you very much, Richard. I'm excited to announce the following winners for the Fahady Jeffers Memorial Scholarship. Our first recipient is Adam Ahmad, going to UC Berkeley for dietetics. Next is Allison Barrios Trejo, going to San Diego State. I'd like to congratulate Alondra Mojado, going to CSU Domingos Hills for child development and future teacher. Our next recipient is Atim Luang, going to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for aerospace engineering. Next up is Cesar Lopez Bermudez, going to CSU Los Angeles, and catch him on the movie screen soon. Our next recipient is Christian Rodriguez, going to USC studying human biology. Fight on, Christian. Our next recipient is Gladys Rodriguez, going to UC San Diego on a full ride in cognitive science. Hannah Tran attended Crawford and will be attending UC Davis in aerospace engineering. Congratulations, Hannah. Our next winner is Kimberly Bueno, attending the New School of Architecture and future architect. Next up is Lizbeth Lugo, who will be going to Grossmont College to study criminal justice. Congratulations to Marco Villalba, who will be attending San Diego State to study criminal justice. Next is Mel Taylor, going to University of Edinburgh, studying history, philosophy, and politics. I'd like to congratulate Nadia Ariola, who will be going to San Diego State to study kinesiology. Our next recipient is Sarai Martinez, going to San Diego City College, studying business. I'd like to thank Tafara Pafendi, Our next recipient going to UC Riverside, studying business. Our next winner is Vanessa Munguia, going to Sacramento State, business. And finally, Miss Vivian Tran, who will be going to San Diego State, studying kinesiology. All of the recipients that you've seen here will be receiving a $500 scholarship in memory of Fahadi Jeffries. Thank you so much. Congratulations, scholarship.
Congratulations to all of you. And now I would like to introduce the co-founder of our Cesar Chavez Service Clubs, Carlos Legretti, who I also have the honor to call him my grandfather. So whenever you're ready, Carlos, we'll move on to the next part of the program. Are you, let's see here, Tati. Oh, there you go. We're good.
Yep. I've just been a good scout here by following your orders. So, but thank you for the introduction, Natalie. And it's wonderful to be here with everyone. And the individual who was just speaking before us, Jonathan, thank you very much for all your hard work assisting our Chavistas in their college applications. And it's been, you know, and arriving at this day, you know, has been a long and demanding journey for the Chavistas, as many of them have been club members for 9 years, you know, starting at in the 3rd grade, 4th grade. And I also want to thank the Cesar Chavez Club staff for their leadership in meeting with the Chavistas week after week, month after month, year after year. And it's for the inspiring our Chavistas to believe in themselves and to know that they can make a difference. This year there were 19 colleges that our 46 graduates chose. Now these 19 colleges stretch from San Diego to Scotland. The responsibility of the scholarship committee to select the awardees was very, very difficult. The committee was awed at the tremendous grit, commitment, and sacrifice that of many of the Chavistas. And we're also very appreciative of the amount of support and sacrifice that each of the families have gone through. Besides the awards you just heard, we added the Fahadi Jeffers Si Se Puede Scholarship Award, a $2,000 award in recognition of Fahadi's fierce dedication to peace and justice. Never a quitter was Fahadi. Never, ever did she quit. She would always say, when you quit, you lose. Those were some of her favorite words. And Fahadi's life is a fabulous, wonderful example for our Chavistas of what they also can do. And to the Chavistas today, the graduates, what would Fahadi Jeffers say? What would be her words of wisdom? Knowing Fahadi for 45, 50 years, I think this is what Fahadi would say. She would say that you not only, you can't stop at just being involved. You have to demand your seat at the table. And better yet, and this is what Fahadi proved throughout her life, is that you have to fight for your seat at the head of the table. That was Fahadi Jeffers. May she rest in peace. Thank you. And now I would like to switch back to my darling granddaughter, Natalie, known to the Chavistas as Miss Natalie. Natalie has been working with our Chavez clubs for 11 years. She was at her elementary school, she was the first Chavista president for the Cesar Chavez Service Club. And so with her 11 years of working with the clubs, and probably with 7 years prior to that, as a Chavista, I'll turn the program over to you, Ms. Natalie.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Carlos. And I do agree, Fahadi would have said that. You need to demand your seat at the table. So my job now is to announce the recipients of the Si Se Puede Award, or the $2,000 scholarship award. And looking at the list here, I've known the majority of the people on this list for a very long time. And the person who I've known with the least amount of time, that's like 3-4 years in. So I'm honored, and I'm extremely proud. So we have, I say the name, it was asked of you before the ceremony to prepare a 1-minute explanation of what the Chavez clubs mean to you.
No, you can. Sí, papi.
Sorry, who was that? Okay, so I'm going to share the slide with in alphabetical order, and then we'll come back so the recipient can speak their piece. Okay, so the first person to receive the $2,000 award is Miss Andrea Paz, who is going to San Diego State for environmental engineering. So Andrea, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea, and I want to just thank you all for taking your time out of your day for being here. I know times are tough at the moment, but being in this program has shown me that none of us are alone. Throughout my years in this club, I have learned so much about myself and the world in general, about the good, the bad, and everything in between. I have learned how to advocate and be the voice for the things in which I believe in, and honestly, I wasn't able to do that before. Being a Chavista, for me, means helping others and to always be willing to teach someone. If we want to see the change in our world that we so much desire, we have to be the people who take a stand and educate those around us. Without you all, I would not be the leader who I am today. Words cannot describe how thankful and appreciated I am. Just a million times, thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. And I'm very proud of you. And I love this picture that you took.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, our next is Eva Schultz, who's going to UC Berkeley to study molecular and cell biology. So whenever you're ready, Eva.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Eva Schultz. I just want to start out by thanking every staff member who makes the Cesar Chavez clubs possible, especially Miss Linda and Mr. Carlos. We would not be here today without your passion for helping and empowering the youth of San Diego. I have been in the SF Chavez clubs for a total of 7 years, and I honestly don't know where I would be without this amazing organization. I have learned so much from being a team player to being a leader. Through the Chavez clubs, I have learned how to not only stand up for and believe in myself, but also do the same for my peers. Being a part of the Chavez clubs in high school brought what I was taught in middle school to a whole new level. In middle school, I was taught the history behind the clubs and armed with the 10 Chavista values. These middle school teachings helped me to put the 10 values into action. They taught me to be independent and a proactive member in my community. As mentioned by speakers before me, I have held values such as be creative, respect others, and nonviolence close to my heart. Especially today, during the Black Lives Matter movement, we can see that people are coming up with new ways to be peaceful, but still show that this is an issue that is important and one that needs to be addressed. We have learned the importance and power behind peaceful protest and uniting as one. As any leader or team member, I experienced many failures, but the Chavez clubs taught me to keep getting back up and to learn from my mistakes. I was able to not only apply this to what I was doing in the club.
Yeah, want me to throw up the form?
I apologize. I will go ahead.
No worries. But also in my everyday life as a student, an activist, a daughter, a sister, and a friend. I'm so thankful for the opportunities the Chavez Clubs has offered me, one of the highlights being the Washington, D.C. trip. It was on this trip that I was able to deepen my connections, not only with the Chavistas from my own school, but also those from other schools, such as Crawford and Hoover. I will always cherish my times with my roommates, Alondra and Vanessa. This experience really helped me to connect with other clubs and helped with the connectivity between each club. It has helped us grow together as a Chavista family. Finally, I wanted to thank Mr. Jonathan. Even though I only met you this year, I'm so honored that I did. You were such an amazing addition to our Chavez Club at San Diego High, and I am certain that your leadership and support is appreciated by all of our members. Thank you so much for everything you have done for us. Lastly, I want to thank each and every one of you that are here on this graduation Zoom today. You have all impacted me and made me the person that I am today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Our next recipient is Hiab Meskina. So whenever you're ready, Hiab.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. So being a Chavista means being a part of a family. One that pushes you out of your comfort zone, elevates you, makes you the best version of yourself, and wants to see you succeed no matter what. Because I am a Chavista, I am an example to many around me, and I understand that it is my responsibility to listen to others and be a voice for not just myself, but to the underrepresented. Being a part of this organization for the past 6 years, I have grown so much and have been able to understand my full potential and my abilities as a leader in my community. I cannot begin to express what this community has done for me and the pride I carry because of it. But I can confidently say it has greatly shaped me into who I am today and how I embody the 10 values. And for that, I am beyond thankful. Most importantly, I want to thank Miss Linda and Carlos Lagretti for believing in me 100% since I first joined this club as a 6th grader, and for treating me like their own. I would also like to thank Jonathan for working tirelessly to make us the best candidates for college and for supporting us in every area of our lives. And also Richard Barrera for always supporting us in all of our endeavors. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Hiab. Okay. Our next recipient is Madison de Guzman. So whenever you're ready, Madison.
Being introduced to the Cesar Chavez Club at such a young age was one of the most beneficial and hopeful opportunities I was fortunate enough to be selected for. I see the primary grades as a pivotal point in a person's life for building character and finding each own's core set of principles. So while my own family was teaching me the basics of living life, such as owning up to one's responsibilities and sometimes even mistakes, respecting others, and simple as tying your shoe, what grew to become my Chavista family. Now, they taught me the fundamentals of life and how to see the world from different ways. The club enriched and magnified my understanding of the world by bringing up topics of injustice issues and environmental concerns, and then instilling determination and the will to act within me. This club, specifically Mr. Carlos, Miss Linda, and Miss Natalie, embraced a timid and voiceless 4th grader and aided her in her transition of becoming more open, vocal, and courageous. And for that, I thank you. You guys have been my #1 supporters since the beginning, for nearly 9 years, actually. I'd also like to thank Mr. Jonathan for reminding me of my potential and value in times of where I doubt myself and my abilities. I'm very honored to have created the relationships I have made through this club. I'm deeply appreciative. Thank you all, and good luck to my fellow graduates next year.
Thank you, Madison. And while we wipe our tears just a little bit, I have them too. Our next recipient is Mahalet Shibre.
Miss Natalie, you know that this question was so hard to answer, right? I had to sit on it for such a long time. But I think the one thing that I really want to take out of this club was the education I learned because of you. I hope you know that. Because you're the person that taught us about mass movements, not my schools. Even in high school, I didn't learn about mass movements the way you taught us, because schools don't teach you about intersectionality, or you know, it doesn't teach you about the people that are part of the movement that were also oppressed in the movements. So like LGBTQ plus individuals, we don't learn about them. We don't learn about them during the civil rights movement. We didn't learn about them during any movement because they're in the shadows, and you gave them a voice. And education is the one thing that the Cesar Chavez Club, really carries students on. And schools really lack that. They don't teach students about their intersectionalities and that how they are a part of movements and their people are a part of movements, because I feel like they don't have time for that. But you really did that. You taught us about everything that we needed to know. You taught us about the good and the bad, about leaders that we should have known. A lot of teachers throw MLK at us, and they don't explain to us his faults. And you break it down for us, and I really appreciated that, because when we learn about Black women in movements, and when we learn about all the individuals that are part of movements that are never talked on, it teaches us how to incorporate everybody into our movements, and it makes us more peaceful and more open. And that's what I want to take out of the club, the education I learned, because I wouldn't have learned it anywhere else. Nobody teaches us about mass movements in the way that we are supposed to learn it, and I just really want to thank you for that. And yeah, I also want to give a special shout out to Jonathan and Ms. Munoz because I know that the Hoover Club, and I think other clubs would agree with me, without Jonathan, our clubs wouldn't have ran the way it did, and it wouldn't have been successful this year the way it is. So thank you guys so much, because you guys taught me so much, like so much that no one else could have taught me, especially schools. So.
And you were a good student. Yeah, I will say that. It was a pleasure teaching you guys too. This is a two-way street. So our next recipient, you got me all distracted, girl, hold on. So our next recipient is Melissa Perez, and I'll bring up her slide right now. Melissa Perez, are you there, sweetheart?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so Melissa Perez, here's her slide. She's going to San Diego. I apologize, good thing this wasn't a surprise. She's going to San Diego State for Business Administration. So whenever you're ready, sweetheart. Are you there, Melissa?
So being a Chavista to me means a lot because like I will forever be grateful to have joined this club in 7th grade, because in this club I learned so much about people who helped create change for everyone, regardless of who were facing injustices. And that meant a lot because they helped like people of color too, like Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta and other people. And also through this club, I met so many amazing individuals like you, your grandparents, Ms. Zapia, and all these people became like family and mentors to me, as well as the Hoover people like Jonathan and Ms. Munoz. They have been always supporting and helping. And I just feel like with the 10 values that this club teaches, if everyone lived by these values, we wouldn't see everything we see these days. But I feel like if we continue to spread the legacy of Cesar Chavez and all these values, I feel like we will create change. And I'm just so grateful to have been part of this club. And I will continue to be part of this club because I'm staying in San Diego. So I'm just very grateful.
Thank you, sweetheart. And we're grateful for you too.
Yeah.
Our next recipient is Rodrigo Insunza. Are you with us, Rodrigo?
Yeah.
There you are.
All right. Yeah.
Go ahead, sweetheart. Hold on. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't know.
Sorry, it muted. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I just want to say that like what it means to be a Chavista is to like be able to like use the power of service, like being able to like as one individual be able to like go and like be able to provide service to your community and even more, and like being able to like not just receive from like receive, but being able to like give every opportunity that you get. And that's something that I learned in the Chavista Club, because even though I feel like all these other people were in the Chavista Club longer, like 6-7 years, you know, and I've only been in it for 2 years, but I've seen like everything that has been done thanks to Mr. Carlos and Mrs. Linda and everybody that's in this meeting today. And just, if I had to say a moment in where like you can feel what it is to be a Chavista, I would say is when we were in the Congress meetings, and I'm looking at high schoolers, middle schoolers, elementary students, and it's just like you can feel the power of like the stuff that's going on. Like there's young leaders like who are really making a big change, and like it's just like I'm mind blown by being able to see like younger students who are sharing like powerful messages of what change they want to see. So it's just like I think a Chavista is to like have the power of being able to like use those ideas and put them into service, and being able to like give to the community and just be able to be like that role model. So like the Chavista being like that role model and showing what it is to create a movement of service. And I just wanted to really thank Mr. Jonathan for everything he's done. The moment, I don't know why, but the moment I met him, I just like built like a good connection. And like I feel like for some reason that I feel like he was really gonna help me, and like he truly was like always supportive and like there for me from college applications, and every time that I doubted myself when I was gonna be doing something, he was always able to like be there for me and like say that he like believes in me, and like that really helped like build myself and being able to like go out and do it, you know. And so just being able to have that Mr. Jonathan as a mentor and being able to like have his unconditional support has really helped me, and like I'll never forget that. And just thank you very much, Mr. Jonathan, Mr. Carlos, Mrs. Linda, and everyone in here. And like I'm just like, it's an honor to be with each and every one of you, and I know that everyone in here is gonna do great things. Like I just know it.
Thank you, sweetheart. Our next recipient is Rosario Perez. So when you're ready, sweetheart.
All right. Okay. Hello. So I am the co-founder at Hoover. Not co-founder. Sorry, co-president with Mahalet at Hoover High School. So to start off, I just want to say that the Cesar Chavez community, they are my second family. So from walking in the library as a fourth grader and meeting that group of, it was actually ran by all girls, our first club, all girls. So walking into that all girl group and meeting Miss Natalie and like Mahalet said, getting educated and being open-minded at a very young age helped me become the woman that I am today. And you all, this organization, all these individuals, this community was the first organization that I joined as a student. And I am very grateful for that, because without this program and without this encouragement and commitment that I put to be a Chavista, I have been able to achieve other things and make a change in my community. I believe that you all have taken a role in every single student and staff's success and change that we want for everyone. I follow the 10 values very much, even though sometimes it may be hard, but I look back to it and realize that these 10 values really have been part of me since a very young age. And without them, I wouldn't be able to have that power to continue. Also, being a Chavista to me means you're going to be that change and that leader. And by that, I mean meeting these individuals and hearing speeches at a very young age, attending the mañanitas. And actually, I don't know if you remember this, Miss Dolores, but I sat next to you and I talked to you for a while, and you actually like sat, when we were doing the mañanitas dance together, you were next to me. I don't think you remember, but that was a very accepting moment for me, because I have never been like part of a big organization that big and loving and very diverse. And coming from a community that, you know, we face a lot of issues, it felt really nice knowing that although we have these problems, we still have this amazing enlightenment of individuals who want to minimize that. So I just want to thank all of you, from Miss Natalie, Mr. Jonathan, Miss Patty, which scared me a lot when I was very young with her serious face. You know, I consider, you know, I don't want to get Miss Natalie mad, but Mr. Carlos and Miss Linda, I call you guys like, I see you guys as my grandparents, because you guys saw me grow. So sorry, I'm getting very emotional. I really appreciate this organization, and you know, I will never forget you guys, because not only will the legacy of Cesar Chavez organization and all these other leaders that have created a change will stay in San Diego, but I know me and Eva and all the others, and Saida and the students going to UC Berkeley, we will continue the Cesar Chavez legacy there at our campus. And I hope that all the other Chavistas here that are going to their universities and colleges and all that, they continue that for us too. So to end this, I want to thank you once again. Muchas gracias for giving me that hope and believing in me to be the person I am. And also, I also want to give a shout out to Ms. Z and Ms. Where is she at? I can't find her name. Ms. Apia, because they empowered me as a sixth grader when I actually didn't want to continue, you know, going to school and all that. So thank you very much. Thank you to my high school. Thank you to my principal. Thank you to all you staff, because without you all, we wouldn't be here. And class of 2020, we did it. Si se pudo. We're graduating and we're done. Now to college.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Thank you.
And you can call them your grandparents. It's okay. I'll issue that pass. if you'd like to, you could do that. Okay. Thank you, Rosario. That was beautiful. And then our next recipient is Rosario Rodriguez. So if you're still here, sweetheart, you're up. Oh. Do you hear Rosario Rodriguez? Maybe not.
Oh, there. Can you hear me?
Wait, there we go.
Okay. First, I would like to give a big thank you to Miss Linda and Mr. Carlos, because I met them when I was a third grader and I got involved with Cesar Chavez, third grade. And I also met you, Miss Natalie. Being a Chavista to me means making people aware of the issues going on, not just here in the US, but all around the world. And what this club has taught me is that my voice is important and it counts, and I shouldn't be afraid to use it. If there's any injustice going on, I should speak up and not just stay quiet. As Chavistas, we need to support and stand with those who are being oppressed and fighting for what is right. But although, like, when fighting for what's right, it gets tough, and we all know that. We come across obstacles, but we shouldn't allow it, like, tough situations to discourage us from keep going on. And you guys taught me that change will only happen if we stay committed and keep on fighting. And a Chavista is, what you guys taught me is that we're brave, caring, peaceful, and above all, determined. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Yes. And last but not least, our final recipient of the $2,000 award is there, Saida?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we can hear you good now.
Okay. So hi everyone. Once again, I'm Saida Inares, and I'm a student at Hoover High School. And fun fact, actually, I joined the Cesar Chavez Club by accident. So at my middle school, I came here in 5th grade, and I had to learn English. So I was really scared, to do anything. And then at my school at Clark, after I got reclassified, Mr. Hassel, who was the teacher at the time who ran the club, had to take a test for his class. But at the time that I was taking the test, there was a Cesar Chavez meeting going on. And after that, I kind of just, it just felt very welcoming. And I decided to join. And everybody was just really supportive, especially like coming from someone who didn't speak the language. I was really afraid, and they helped me not to be afraid. They encouraged me to run for cabinet, and I did. And it was like it was one of the first times it was my first organization that I joined since I came to the US. It was also the first time I was a leader since I came to the US in any organization. And I'm really happy I was able to do that. So as I continue my journey as a Chavista, I realized that it wasn't just about community service, although it's a big part of it. I learned that it is also about appreciating your community, and gaining that sense of community, giving back to the community. It was about leadership. I became a really big leader in my school after joining the Cesar Chavez Club. It's about helping others and acknowledging your identity, because, coming from Mexico and seeing this new culture around me, I was confused on who I was. And the Cesar Chavez Club showed me that I should be really proud of where I come from, even if I'm no longer there, because we do a lot, and we should be proud of that. A Chavista is someone who empowers the 10 values, and even if we don't, because I believe I didn't empower all 10 values when I first joined, there's such a welcoming community that they will help you gain those values and simply be part of it. Being a Chavista is empowering and is the hope for social justice. Sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, my mom walked in. Oh my god. Okay, so being a Chavista, like I said, it's a hope for the future, especially in moments like these. And I am just really thankful that I was there at that moment. The universe put me in that space, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm also really thankful for everything I've learned, because I didn't know anything about Cesar Chavez or anything like that, just simply by going to school. So this club really taught me a lot. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and everybody that has been there through the way. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you. That concludes our recipients, our 10 recipients.